We are so close to being there. We are on the chapter 6 practice test. Woohoo! So we have exercise 1, and we're writing a positive or negative integer that represents this situation. You earn 7 points in a game. Well, we know that if we earn something, we have gained it. So we have a positive 7. Exercise 2 asks us to graph 3 and its opposite. So we're going to put our little 3 right here. And then we're going to opposite, and remember we're at the 0, 1, 2, and negative 3 will be its opposite. Okay, so exercise 3. Here we can see a negative 2, and then we see our negative 3. Well, if we think of this, anything going to the left is getting smaller, anything going to the right is getting bigger. So then we know that this negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So we know that negative 2 is larger than negative 3. So the easiest way to plot, or excuse me, to go from least to greatest is to plot it first. We have a negative 1, so we're going to put our negative 1 right here. And then we have a 7, which is over here. And remember, these numbers are getting bigger to the right. And then we have a negative 6, and then we have our 4. So we plot it first, and that way we can look at it. So now we look at our integers, and this time they want us to go from greatest to least. Okay, or so I'm sorry, from least to greatest. Okay, so we just start right here. So we have our negative 6's first, and then we go to our negative 1, and then we look at our 4, and then next comes our 7. So now we're going to graph our point 4, and then we're going to do its opposite, and it's going to be a negative 0.4, and we're done. Now if we look back up here at our number line, and we think of this as negative 3/8 and negative 5/8, if we kept going, we would go 1, 2, 3, or 5. Let's just think of those as little prongs and forget the numbers underneath it. The negative 3/8 is going to be closer to 0, and the negative 5/8 is going to be farther away from the 0. So the negative 3/8 is going to be bigger. This one they're trying to trick you with. So when we think of this, we're thinking, oh no, there's a decimal. Well, this you can think of as 5 and 600ths, or let's say you owe somebody $5.06, and here you owe somebody $5.60. Well, which is a smaller amount? Well, $5.06 is the least amount, so this is going to be bigger. Okay, so when you're thinking negative, remember which one is closest to the 0. Again, we're ordering our numbers from least to greatest. And so I can think of the 0, and I can think of the 4 as being the biggest, and then I just have to fill it in. Okay, so I'm going least to greatest. The negative 4, if I owe somebody $4, going to have less money than if I owe somebody $3. And 3 3/4 is bigger in normal than 3 1/2. So I just kind of switch it up a little bit and get my answers that way. Just remember, they're going to try to trick you, so just think opposite. So no matter what you're doing with when the negative numbers, just think of the opposite. Just think about how far it is from 0. Okay, the numbers ordered from least to greatest. So the smallest number, and then our 2 is going to be our biggest number. So our smallest number is going to be, and then you just plug in everything else. So do your least to your greatest first. Okay, find the absolute value. When we're talking about absolute value, we're talking about the distance from 0. So negative 6 2/3 is going to be positive 6 2/3, because all we're doing is counting the distance. We have the absolute value of negative 3. And again, what we're doing is we're counting the distance. We're counting the distance from the 0 to negative 3. It's the same distance from 0 to positive 3. So this is equal. Which animal is closer to sea level? Remember, sea level would be 0. So is it closer to be 4 feet or negative 4 feet? Or is it closer to be 20 feet? Well, of course, the crab is going to be closer. He's only 4 feet away from 0. Okay, so we're talking about ordered pair. And if we go this way, we have to do our x first. And it's going to be here 6, negative 7. And then we go up here and we go to positive 7. So we're going to do negative, oops, hold on. Try to do 2, negative 7, and then this one right here is going to be positive 7. Okay, so now we want to be plotting 5 So we're going to go over to our 5, but this is positive 6, and we need to go to negative 6. So we're going to come down here, and we're going to do it in here. So we're going to do 5 and negative 6. Okay. Okay, so now what they want us to do is plot negative 3 and 5 and its reflection in the x-axis. So here's our negative 3, and then we're going to go up to 5. We plot that there, and then we're going to do the same thing on its x-axis, which is basically saying do the x. So we go to negative 3, and there's its reflection. So here's our 2 and our 4. Exercise 17, find the distance between 1 and negative 4. So here's our 1 and our negative 4. And the second number is 7 and negative 4. So we're going to go over to 7 and negative 4. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the distance between these two numbers, or 7 take away 1, is going to give us 6. Okay. So when does the greatest decrease in temperature occur? So we're looking at here, it's hours, and here's our temperature. So from hours after noon, so at 1 o'clock, from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, it went down 2 degrees, okay? From 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, it went down 1 degree. From 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, 1 degree. So from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, it went down 1, 2, 3, 4 degrees. So the most the temperature went down was from between 3 and 4. So you're in an elevator. You go up 6 floors. So you start at 0, you go up 6, so it's positive 6. Then you go down, so you subtract 2. What is the net change in your position? So think of it as you went to the 6th floor, you went down 2 floors, and what floor are you on now? What's the difference? Well, it would be the number 4. Okay, the coldest temperature for several cities are shown. Select the warmest temperature. Whenever they give you a number line, whatever tool they give you, use it. So we've got a negative 5. We've got a positive 1. We got a negative 6 and 0. So 0 is neutral. It's neither positive or negative. And then all of a sudden we start getting into positive numbers. So what they want to know is, what is the warmest temperature? Well, anything above 0 is going to be warmer than anything below 0. Below 0 is going to be colder. So our temperature here is going to be 1 is the warmest. Ta-da! We're finished. 8 minutes. Go team. Have a great day.